Good evening, everybody. It's lovely to be back on the show once again, the official PGS podcast with your boy Zach. Hope you're well in PGS world and beyond. It's been a very hefty week, but we won't talk about that. What we're going to talk about is what an exciting show we have. I say exciting because we've got probably the most amount of guests we've had on one show since we've aired visually. So I'm very much looking forward to that. But without further ado, I want to say hi to my compadre, Cozy. He's in the background. He's not going to show his face, a little bit shy. So how you doing, mate? Hope you're well. Again, doing a lot of work in the background with the Tonys. So great work there, mate. Thank you. I want to thank Brandon Brandlad for the reviews he gave us last week. We had our first foot show, and we got our first winners of our giveaway. We gave away some points, 2,200 points, I think it was. So I hope you enjoyed those points and packed someone decent. I didn't get any points, but I still packed someone decent. So I'm very happy about that. But without further ado, let's start this show. Today, we've got a packed show. Like I said, we have Manager's Corner back again, which is always great. Always good to talk to the managers within the community about their experiences, good or bad. It always helps the PGS community to understand what's going on within their community. I said community about 8 times, so I'll stop saying community now. We've also got a head admin in the room today. In actual fact, this one is going to be a good one because this will be a chance for all our players, our members, to really delve into some of the questions that ordinarily they've been wanting to ask but haven't had the opportunity. I know we had Will on before, many moons back, to talk to us about stats and just general sort of overview on how the admins are doing their work behind the scenes. So we're looking forward to speaking to Spacer a bit later on in the show. But before we do that, let's get cracking. Why not? Now, this is the PGS podcast, and we're here to talk everything PGS and esports. So without further ado, I'd like to invite one of the THIS League managers. His name is Villa. Villa, how you doing, mate? Good evening.
Hey, bro. Good afternoon, everyone.
It's good afternoon where you are. It's good evening for us. I'm fine. I'm very good. It's good to meet you for the first time. Obviously, we've been talking in chats for a bit. And also, again, I thank you for volunteering your time this evening. I know we're all going to have games tonight, but, it's good to get you on to have a conversation. But listen, the THIS League is a league that I've played in, under the guise of Team Sweet. We did pretty well. I think when it first came into fruition, I believe Josh runs that league. Is that correct?
The one who runs the THIS League is Vincent. He's the head admin of...
Why would I have said Josh? I think Josh ran it before, and Vincent's taken over. So Vincent's probably one of the best admins out there.
Yeah, lovely person. Lovely person. I love to have a chat with him. He's always available to speak with me, and I'm always available to run everything with him. Everything runs smoothly, and we've been together for like 2 seasons, and I have no complaints about him or the league.
Very, very. I'm very glad to hear it. My own personal experience with Vincent. I mean, I played for one of his teams, so obviously I have a lot of time and respect for him. And obviously he was the one that got us together. So again, thank you, Vincent. Much appreciated. So Villa, let's back to yourself. Now, Vincent speaks very highly of himself. He claims you are the best manager he knows, and that could be for a myriad of reasons. And I'm assuming one of the reasons is just for your character and your personality. Now, you've been running teams. You've been running your team, who I hear prior to the show that you're 2-time champions.
Yeah,
to be a third potentially. Talk to me a little bit about your experience within the league. I mean, when did you enter the Fives? Did you enter it when it first came to fruition, or have you just entered?
I think we've entered in the first season or the second. I think, I'm not sure, because we've entered through the championship and now we are in the premiership, and we've won them both in a row. It's been 2 tough seasons. The last one's been really tough because we were like 5 points behind. We've won it on the last minute, so it was
very
amazing.
Dramatic, yeah.
Yeah, very dramatic, very dramatic.
That's good. Do you know what I was thinking? I was thinking of having a chat with the with the powers that be. Maybe to have like a mini video of these experiences, turn into a Netflix scenario or documentary. I think that'd be wicked. But so you're 2-time champions. What position are you guys in the season now, currently, as we speak?
The season hasn't started, so it starts next week. I think we've just signed some new contracts. The roster is going to be full of new players, so it's going to be different from the previous 2. So
Okay, is there a reason for that? Is it because have players just been recycled, or have you lost some players?
No, the players just want to get away with this FIFA because they're had enough. We've come along and
Yeah,
being 2 times champions. I think this is the best way for us to part ways.
indeed. No, I absolutely hear you. I mean, personally, I would have stayed on for more trophies. No one's going to say no to more trophies, but I get that. Sometimes you know, 2 tough seasons. I can imagine managing those personalities in that group must not have been easy. So I give you props. Congratulations on that. So
you.
going forward within the actual league itself, how have you found the competition? You know, you've won it twice. Would you say it was easy or straightforward? Was it competitive?
Never easy, bro. Never easy. Well, the first few games on the Premiership, I had one of my players who said, "No, this league is going to be easier than the last one," and I said to him, "No, bro, don't say those types of things." The
Yeah.
thing is, the moment he said that, we've lost like 2, 3 games in a row, and
You jinxed
so
it.
yeah, I jinxed it. But we've come a long way and we've won it. So
Excellent. Well, congratulations on that one. So I'm assuming from that then that you feel that the league is very competitive, and you feel that it's a structure that will be sustainable. I mean, the fives, and I know most of us are into 11. Like I said, I played a lot of fives and sixes in the past. For me, it just wasn't as enjoyable as 11s, or challenging, as it were. I mean, I know everyone's got different views. How have you managed to keep your players excited and motivated about playing fives?
the thing is, my team were mostly Portuguese
Okay,
habitats, so we are friends from a very young age, and we wanted to play pro clubs in a more professional way, but we weren't capable of doing that on an 11 aside. So the
sure.
fives and the sixes, we were not a part of the sixes, but the fives are something we can be part of and demonstrate how good we are.
Absolutely. Well, you certainly done that. You know, 2-time winners. Send that. I mean, winning the championship and then jump up to the Premiership. I think people sometimes, it's understated. So that's a very good job. Well done. It's not easy to win back to back like that, especially at the levels. So I understand that you guys are Portuguese. Thanks for letting us know that. But how come you guys got a Greek name for the team?
Well, it's very curious because we
Asteria
started.
Kipseli. What does that mean?
It's like in Portuguese, it's craques the fazenda. It's like good football players from the from the farm,
Okay. There's a little humor to it. Then I get it.
Yeah, something like that.
But why Greek though? Why a Greek name? Is one of your players Greek or?
None of us are Greeks, but the thing is, we always saw the Greek mythology as something amazing, and we wanted to be
To
part of it in a way,
indeed. No, that's good.
So
Fair play. Fair play. I'm sorry to have asked, but
it's
I had to. Okay, so I mean, is there anyone in your team? I mean, obviously you kind of done the job yourself. I'm sure you got calls and whatnot. Are there any personalities or characters you'd like to shine a light on and give a shout out to?
I think the thing that brings out the most in my team is that we play as a team. We don't have one player that stands out from anyone. We have very good players. We have Camuete, Valente, we have Cruzados, Fabio, very good players. But the thing is, we play as a team, and you don't see us being important as an individual. We're
I
important
understand.
as a team. So I highlight everyone when I talk to about my team.
Okay. Well, I hope your team treat you well when you go back to them, and someone doesn't say, "How come she didn't shout me out?" so that's good. Listen, I think that was a very good response, very appropriate as well. So, I mean, what I'd like to do is thank managers like yourself who, keep their team competing, turning up every week in, week out. It's not easy. Mentally, it's not easy to turn up week in, week out. Availability, you've got all these obstacles in the way. So I'm sure Vincent loves you very much for keeping your team in that league. So talk to us a little bit about your ambitions going forwards. I mean, are you entering other leagues potentially? Maybe the sixes as a little upgrade, or well, not upgrade, but you know what I mean. It's one more player. Is that something
Yeah.
that you guys have got interest in going forwards?
No, the thing is, since the fives is our thing, we stay on the fives, and most of us play on an 11-side team, so it's a bit too much. We have like
Indeed, yeah.
10, 12 games a week, and that's too much with the trainings, and
it's
that's
a lot,
too
isn't
much, bro.
it? The things we do for competition, isn't it? But
Yeah.
yeah, no, I totally understand that. Well, listen, Villa, it's been a pleasure. I think, like I said, I got a good vibe from you when we were talking pre the show, in the chats, in the Discord. Now that I know who you are, I'll be keeping my eye out, and I'll anticipate you come back onto the show very soon after a third league win in 3 seasons.
We'll try to, bro. We'll try
Absolutely,
to.
bro. Absolutely. But listen, in the meantime, enjoy your games tonight. Thank you so much for coming on and shedding a light on the Fives League, and obviously Vincent, who runs it. You've obviously got to show. You got to showcase Vincent's name, because I know he's very proud of what he does within the PGS. So thank you so much for your time, sir.
I love him so, bro. Thank you for
I know
having
you
me.
do. I know you do. I know you do.
Have a nice
Thank you.
podcast, bro.
You too, man. Thank you so
Cheers.
much. Appreciate your time. Take care. To interview on our show. He's a stand-up gent, and I'm pretty sure that they're going into a third win, based on just the way he runs his club. Very disciplined, always on time, and the players always turn up. So fair play to you, and well done to the admins in that league, Vincent and Cole, for doing a great job with the Fives League. I know it's been a tough run, but you guys are doing some big things. Right, so we want to keep this moving. But before I do that, I would like to say that the PGS are putting on a female-only tournament. We will have a poster of that a bit later on in the show, and we want all the females to join. Now, listen, it's female-only. I've already had banter in the chat saying guys are going to go and shave their hair and put wigs on and put toilet rolls in their chest and whatnot. I don't know what that means, but it's just female-only. So we'll give you some more information throughout the show as we go along. Right, we're going to keep the show moving. Would like to introduce a personal friend of mine and one of my bosses in the leagues that I play in, Hippo. Welcome to the show, sir.
What up?
We've got you live now. No more pre-recordings. This is live and direct.
Yes.
So, but listen, Hippo, before we go into this interview, what I want to do is I want to shed some light to our audience about yourself as a person. I mean, I don't know you personally. I've never met you, but we've known each other on virtually for a period of time now. I played for one of your teams, one of your many teams, Mr. CEO, and you're just a stand-up guy, in my opinion. I think what you've done is you've built. I think the last interview we had, you've built a structure, not just a structure, but a club, and you've had other people come into that club and follow your own sort of theme. So, I guess my question, before we go into all the successes that we've had or that we're having currently, my first question is, how are you finding all that at the moment?
It's been tough, very tough. Like, it has been tough. It's been a long run since the start. Like, since day one, nothing's ever uphill. Nothing ever uphill. It's been tough, man. It's been tough. You keep on the grind, and success is at the end. There is some success in that tunnel. Like,
absolutely.
Okay, so that's a tip for all managers as well. Like all upcoming managers coming up, stick at it. You might have success at the start. I mean, like I don't know if people who know me or don't know me. 7 years I've been winning my team. It wasn't like this from the start. I mean, like you, I don't know if you said, we're beating in Scotland and we're
15 games.
15 games plus end the back season. I think it's 21 to 22 games we've all beaten now. Actually,
we'll get there, Hippo. I'm getting there, but I was just waiting.
Sorry to take your spot there, mate. But
that's
like
right.
Said,
no problem.
It's never easy. It never has been easy. Like even now, like it's still a struggle. It's still games where we play. I'm like, wow, we need to step up a little bit now. Like it's never easy. It's never going to be. There's always teams out there that's gonna challenge behind you, and even bottom teams can surprise you sometimes. You've got to stick at it. All managers coming up, stick at it. Like success is there. Just keep grinding, and get your team around you.
That's great advice. Obviously, if you're on a server with a manager who's working hard, trying to make things happen, trying to give you games every week or whatnot, then it's always good to support them. Because otherwise, what's the might as well all go home and just chill and play clubs on a lonely level. But what I want to say, Hippo, is we've talked about the downer side, i.e. the struggles. But obviously you've got a good nucleus of people around you to obviously lift you up and help you continue to push the club and the brand. So now to talk about the more positive side, i.e. the outcome of all your hard work. So we've got a situation now where I think I joined your team last season, Scotland, and we did very well. I think we went unbeaten for God knows how long, but we've come into the new season with the same attitude, with the same players. We've gone 15 games unbeaten, and we've beaten everyone basically. I think we drawn one game.
Drew one, yeah.
Yeah, so don't worry, man. I know my stats, bro. I know my stats, but I'm that guy. I watch every video back. So, but we've drawn one game, and I think for me, being a part of the team, I can't really give a reason as to why that is, other than the fact that I feel the discipline aspect has helped. Now, what's your version of that? Why do you believe, or how do you believe we managed to gotten from where we were last season to now we've gone all this time being in a league which isn't necessarily spoken about a lot, but it's a decent league. It's a decent league, a Scotland league. But go on, sorry, it's over to you.
The bottom line is chemistry. I'm being deadly serious right now. I could bring in better players in positions. I genuinely could. I could bring in the better players in more or less every position. But are they gonna have the chemistry? No, they're not. I've built my team. It's chemistry. We are based on we are really good chemistry. I could go back to 7 years. And I've had a good core players who've been with me since the start.
All that time.
A few positions I've added here and there, and they've just gelled in straight away. And I want to shout out Rose. She's joined in. She's brought in quite a few players for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Rose, big shout out to Rose, aka the Canary. The vibes are different, but yeah, I mean, she's got to sort out her glittery lineups, but everything else is good. Go on, Hippo.
No, but it is just literally down to chemistry. You gotta build that core. It's all good and well bringing in number one striker, number one cam, number one keeper, and a winger. It's all good and well, but are they gonna be chemistry? No, they're not.
Yeah,
number one players want to be number one players. No offense, the number one top goal scorer only wants to score, and then their striker partner might not get as much chance there, might get frustrated. Chemistry goes down.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? That's just one example. Same centre back. The one centre back might just want to get all the blocky or the tackles going.
It's impossible, but yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Now listen, that's a very good point. Obviously, I'll remind you that you don't necessarily need you don't need a top striker because you've already got one. So let's move on. How dare you? But anyway, let's go straight into the chat. I want to pick up Baba Cabin Ben, aka Ben, Sister Ben. He's always got jokes, hasn't he? But he's been one of our loyal players in the team.
Definitely,
again, I think I'll be remiss if I didn't make the point clear that. And sorry, I want to shout out Liam as well, El Dizzle, Mr. Duffield himself, doing bits up front. Actually, it's starting to embarrass me as well. It's not a good look, Liam. Please stop. But what I want to say is that Hippo, there's been a lot of situations where there are I know there are probably a few more managers similar to yourself who are experienced, but we would never know about them because they haven't come out to speak to us. And I urge all the managers within the community to come out and talk to us because trust me, it helps. If we don't know who you are and how much work that you put into it, no one else will. So come and have a chat with us. Let us talk to us about your journey especially within the PGS community, because ultimately, we are trying to do the right things every single time. Yes, every community is going to have their negatives, but here's an example of a manager who's been in the community from day one. Prior to that, we had a manager for Fives who's kept his team in the league for 2 whole seasons, successfully winning it. There's got to be a reason for that, and I always go back to discipline, availability, discipline, and supporting your teammates. I mean, one of the other things I wanted to discuss with you, Hippo, and we've had a conversation, you and I, offline about it, is the mental health thing. Now, I don't want to make a big song and dance about it, but I think in every single server, you're always going to have 1 or 2 cats who kind of shy away from the publicity and just don't say anything and you're just there, but may need that help. Now, obviously, we've had a few come and go in the past. We're probably going to have a few come into the group again. How do you go about managing that side of things? Because ultimately, and one of the things that a really good manager used to tell me, and that's Billy, I'll tell you now, is we're not here to manage people. We're here to manage players. So how have you managed to distinguish, the 2 elements without it getting in the way of success or potential success?
it's my chat's always open. Like my messages are always open to anyone who needs any kind of help in the future or past. Like sorry, I've got my daughter here. Sorry.
That's okay.
It's okay. And sorry, I do apologize for this, guys. I am sorry.
You've got kids. That's what happens. This is a live show, and you got a baby. You got to feed them on air. Come on, it's all good, mate. It's all good. Nah, it's okay. We can. But now, multitask.
Like I said, though, my message is always open. And I've said this in the past. I've had players message me in the past, and my Discord in general, the general chats are open. I mean, you've been in there, you saw it. People have opened out. I don't want to mention them out. But I've used, yeah. You saw they are, and I can't lie. I've had players message me saying, "Oh, mate, why is he sending this in the chat for?" You know, I've kicked them straight away. My chat's open to anyone who's struggling, and with I've got I think 50 people I want to say on Discord. Yeah. No one apart from one person who I've had to kick in the past who's been negative about it. No one's ever been negative, but we're all so open and so supportive to everyone.
Absolutely, I can vouch for that, and I think this is a good time. Not to say that they've been bullied, but you know what it's like in these servers. But people just chat, people like to talk nonsense. But you know, one of our sponsors bullies out. You know, if you guys are having problems, you know, it's not just about the bullying aspect, but it's also being able to talk to someone. So you know, their details will be put in the chat a bit later. If you're having any problems with that, please do talk to someone though, because staying quiet is not going to help. But you know, unfortunately, these things will appear for those people who just are just interested in turning up and just playing. That's great, but there are people who turn up with a bit of baggage that need help, and those people are always welcome as well. So you know, Hippo has been doing this from a long time, and I think when we start handing out awards for personalities of the year, you definitely have to be at the forefront of one of them awards, mate, because you know, you're managing a lot of people, and I don't know how you do it. So it's always good. I think I said it the last time. But having you live talking about it, I think it'll be good for a lot, especially a lot of the younger When I say younger, I don't mean age. I just mean experienced managers who are coming into the community now, excited about managing, but just don't know the intricacies about, you know, getting it over the line. What are your future aspirations? I know we talked about before, but in terms of the leagues, now we've got a myriad of leagues in one setting. One or two have been a lot more successful than the others. How are you looking to make sure that every single league we're in, we are, you know, conversely successful collectively?
Well, first things first is trying to get the same team for every league. The same first lineup. I know I've mentioned I've got 50 players in my squad, but to be fair, most of them are happy to be that kind of backup player, which again, that's coming to time for me. Like I've built that team and I've got the backups, like I've said before. But now, like, future aspect, like, is I want to be the next biggest team on PGS. I want to win it all. I want to, like I've said in the past, top football. They're the one. They're the top. They're the top dogs. I want to beat them. I want to be as big as them. That's the future, though. It's not going to happen tomorrow. It's not going to happen next week. It's going to be a few seasons, grinding. It's going to happen, though. I am telling you guys now, everyone's watching. Watch out for more Dogs XI. Big team coming up. We are the next big dogs.
That's fine. You've done my job for me, mate. Well done. Okay, so while we're here, we're going to go into the chat quickly. I want to shout out basically all the Mud Dogs players because they're pretty much in the chat. JB, Rosemary, Rose, welcome. So Rose has been one of the drivers of not just the Mud Dogs leagues, but she also manages one of the clubs in your league, the Belgian league. Sorry, one of the leagues in your club, the Belgian league. And they seem to be doing very well as well. So that's very good. You know, you've got the VPG lot, you've got the England lot. So, you know, it's got. I think this was the first year, isn't it?
PGS Saturday as well.
You join Saturdays as well. So basically, you're doing. So I know there's a lot of people watching. I've even got someone from Team Spirit. He's probably questioning Villa for the Fires, but we'll talk about that one later, sir. But if there's anyone watching and you're looking to join a Discord, you know, trying to try your luck in competitives, you know, you won't meet one of the nicest chaps who'll give you a chance here. I mean, I've introduced a few players, and there's some or all of them are in the first team as well now. So it's a good look. We're obviously going to have haters in the chat for Mud Dogs who are doing well. So that's cool. But Hippo, I mean, I want to leave the last. I want to leave the last word to you, mate. Obviously, thank you so much for coming on. You know, the club's doing very well in general. obviously can do better, but it's doing very well. And Jenny, you've done a great job. You've got a good nucleus of teams around you. Anybody you'd like to shout out before you shoot off?
Same as last time, Oceans and Waterboy, big ups to them too. Like, that'd be them to us three has brought up this Mud Dogs team from the start. Since day one, them two been by my side. Also, one big ups to Rolls, bringing in a lot of players in the past for me, quite a few players, and they're in the first team. Some big players, Ben, O'Malley, I think she brought in herself. She brought in obviously some big players. Yourself as well, mate. You brought me some players in the starting lineup. So it just goes back to when I say, like, keep any new managers, stick at it.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's going to be successful from the start. I'm not saying it's not going to be successful from the start. Like, if you are, fair play to you, lucky you. If you're not, keep at it. You're going to get these big players like yourselves that are coming into my team. You started in my team now, and you bring in these big players for me. New managers, keep at it. You're going to make a name for yourself. Keep at it. Like, you're going to win. Shit. Keep going. Keep grinding.
Nice one. And you just swore as well, which is great. So you're going to pay me some money a bit later.
I gave you
listen,
your badge.
Thank you so much, by the way, for that. Hip Hop, listen, this guy is a multi-talented brother. I mean, if you need graphics, if you need general advice about the community, any of those things, and he's done it for free as well. I mean, listen, I'm not going to put it out there for free, but you're willing to help people to your best, ability, always. And that's something that you've done. I've seen it happen. So thank you so much for doing what you do. You're a very good manager, mate, and not just in terms of tactics, but also in terms of people, because obviously there are a lot of people within the group. Everybody has come in to this chat because you're on, mate. So, that's a testament to what you're doing. So listen, well done. Good luck in all the leagues. And obviously I'll always be there to help as best I can. Right. So Hippo, thank you, sir. We'll see you soon, and good luck for the future.
Thank you.
No problem. Cheers. What a guy. I mean, one of the reasons why, and this is a guy that I messaged at 6 o'clock today to ask him if he'll be available to jump on, because we had a couple of issues, and he was like, yes, straight away. So I want to thank him profusely. Not profusely. I want to thank him repeatedly. Right. Quick shout out to Vincent, who's in the chat. Cabin Rose is trying to get me to hurry up. I'm working. And Umar, who I believe that is Slime, welcome. It's Hollow. There's a lot of people in this chat, and it's very good. But listen, we want to keep going with the show. I want to shout out Matty as well. Matty, excellent CM, great player. There's a lot of players out there. So like I said to you while we were talking to Hippo, if you're a manager, you manage the league, or a player, hit us up, because we want to hear about you. We want to hear about all the good things you're doing. That's right. So before we go into our next segment, which will be a review on pro clubs formations, which will be the first time we've done something like this, we've got a couple of messages to send to pay our bills. So we'll be back shortly.
Need an energy drink, but don't want the bad stuff? What? Z-Game Energy Tubs have 0 grams of sugar. These are available in Iron Brew and sour apple flavors. But that's not all.
Oh, really?
Z-Game plants a tree for every product sold. Help to restore seagrass. And give back to the people with their charity foundation. Don't forget to use the PGS Esports referral link for 10% discount.
There you go. Make sure. Listen, I haven't tried that drink yet, but I'm about to tonight. For my games. So make sure you get in there and try it out. Right, we're going to move on with the show. It's been a great show so far. It's a little recap. We had Villa on, the Fives manager, and they are killing it in that league. And what a great chap as well. It's always good to talk to nice characters. I love that. But we want to move on, talk to one of my favorite chaps, Brand Lad himself. Yes, bro.
Hello.
There he is.
You all right?
What was that? Was that a pose before you came on, bro? What's going on?
No, I was just sorting the hat on. It was a bit wonky.
It's all good. How you doing, sir? You all right?
Yeah, good. Yourself?
Not too bad. How's the week been with regards to? I know you've done a lot of. You got some content out there on your TikTok.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's been a bit boring now, July, but we're still trying.
We're still trying. Like, yeah. Man, listen, I'm excited. When I pack good players, I packed Coutinho the other day, even though he's old, like 9-4 rated. I still got excited, mate. I just literally packed Bellingham. I packed Bellingham whilst I was waiting. You got Bellingham as well? I mean, look, he's worth 100k now, but it's all good.
Yeah, but he's still right.
It's exactly the links. But listen, today we're here to talk about pro clubs. Now, as an expert of pro clubs and just foot in general, you know, we obviously we play pro clubs a lot within the community. There's a lot of competition going on, but I've always wanted to know, because there's conjecture within the community of which the best formations are to use, and we're hoping that you will give us some of that knowledge. So I know you have a top list. Please take it away, sir. Let's hear it.
Right. So obviously, there's going to be some different opinions within the chat, and obviously everyone's got their own opinion. But for me, I've played clubs now for I don't even know how many years. It's crazy how many years I've played. And obviously, I've played in big tourneys, cash tourneys, and stuff like that, and I've won a few. And for me, this FIFA, anyways, not other FIFAs, but this FIFA, 3142, in my opinion, is the best. Now I don't know what have you been using mainly? What's your best one?
To be honest with you, I don't think we have the best one. I mean, we've rotated between a 4-2-3-1. We've done the.
That's another one. Well, yeah.
Is that another one? But I find the 4-2-3-1 a little bit. Well, I suppose it depends how you play it. It's very defensive.
Yeah, I mean, the problem with this FIFA is obviously you have got the tall strikers. I don't know if you see many of that now, but yeah, it's a bit boring. And I think with 3-1-4-2, me personally, I prefer to just play football, and you get the two centre mids, the DM. You can just play it nice and quick within the midfield. So,
well, supposedly.
Yes, so, as long as you've got the players,
yeah,
that is always the problem.
So if you've got, I mean, look, we've tried that in the past. I know Billy of Team Street has used that a lot, and I think there's even the one with the 3-5-2, but the one CF and the one striker, as opposed to having the two strikers. So, you know, what is the most effective formation, especially for most teams? Because there are some teams depending on the players they have.
Yeah, so the 3-1-4-2 is probably best for your teams that are like experienced and played for a while and they can gel. I'd say the most balanced formation where, you know, like you're starting off or something like that, I'd say 3-5-2 really. It always.
Okay. Oh, we've lost Brandlad. Oh, here we go. Okay, we've lost Brandlad, but we are going to get him back shortly. But I think just to kind of go on from that, the 3-1, what was it? The 3-1-4-2, or I think it was the 3-1-4-2. That is a very attacking formation, and if you don't have good CBs, you will struggle with that formation, in my opinion. I think the 4-2-3-1 is a very difficult formation to execute, just purely because it's very defensive. But I'm just going to go into the chat because we've got a few people in the chat giving us some advice as well in terms of the type of striker. So tall striker sounds like wing bashing. Yeah, it is. A lot of teams do abuse that, actually. Even at the later stage of pro clubs, a lot of teams are using tall strikers, particularly in competition, in competitive pro clubs. So it's just wing bashing, and you can actually see it happening. But there are ways to counter that, and I'm hoping that once we get Brandlad back, we'll be able to sort that one out. But hold on. So we're going to break off quickly. I'm in this chat, and apparently we're talking about Iron Brew. So I'm gonna go away from the chat and continue with the formation. Right. So for me, the most popular formations out there are the 3-5-2 or even the 4-2-2-2. But you know, when you start using the 4-2-2-2, you're going into the adventurous realms, in my opinion, and it means that you're going to have some very good CDMs and some excellent CBs. But it looks like we're having some problems with Brandlad. So what we're going to do is we're going to go straight into our next segment and come back to the formations shortly. But our next segment included our head admin, Spacer. But before we go into that, we are going to go into another ad break, some messages before that. So we'll see you back on the other side.
In a world dominated by boring control, Controller Mods has got you covered. Introducing the brand new PGS Esports PS5 controller. And here she is. On offer for $89.99. Extra 10% discount with the code PGS10.
Code PGS10, make sure you go and get that. I think I spoke about that last week. A lot of people have decided to go and cop that. And if you haven't, make sure you do. Right, so thank you so much for that. I think Brandlad, there's some technical issues there, but that's cool. I think we all got the general gist of what we were trying to say. I mean, we want to try and talk about a little bit about sort of tactics and formations with regards to pro clubs within this show. And I believe that for me, you know, Brandlad was right. The 3-5-2 is the most general formation to play. But if not, then the 3-1-4-2 apparently it's good. I think it was the 3-1. Is it the 3-1-4-2 or the 3-4-1-2? One of the two. That formation is really good. So we're going to move on, and we're going to bring in Spacer. Spacer is head admin at PGS and a very good guy to know. Welcome, sir.
How's it going, guys?
Not too bad, not too bad. It's good to have you on finally in visuals. No, we've had you on the audio in the past, so it's good. So listen, we're gonna sort of go straight into it, Spacer. We've had a conversation with a few of our managers, obviously Villa and the Fives, Hippo and Mud Dogs. I mean, one of my things doing this show is always making sure that I highlight the work being done in the background, particularly by the admins within the PGS, because it's a voluntary role. So it's worth talking about. But from your experience as an experienced chap within this particular community, how have you found, working within this realm and dealing with the variety of stuff you deal with in the background?
Yeah, it's tough going. I can't lie. This is my 2 weeks off with my own personal work, and even then I'm still glued to my phone because I'm still replying to messages, still doing graphics for Team of the Week and stuff, still running leagues. So it is just a constant thing. It's non-stop. But at the other side of it, it's one of those things that if you're one of those guys that loves stats, loves kind of organizing things, it's really rewarding, self-rewarding in that way. Because again, obviously a lot of what's the word? A lot of respect and stuff comes with it, but also there's a lot of ownership as well, where you're taking charge, you're taking control to run a league, smoothly. So yeah, there's a lot of responsibility comes with it, but again, at the same time, there's a lot of rewards as well.
Absolutely. And one of those rewards is obviously doing what we love doing. Getting involved in the community, not just on the playing side, but also in the technical side and the backgrounds. I mean, so how many leagues do you manage?
I'm going to say about 5 now, 6 maybe.
Six leagues.
I think.
Okay.
I'm taking a step back come the end of the season or the end of FIFA, from a few of them. But yeah, there's 2 or 3 that are now the admins have kind of took it to the stage where they can run it themselves. They don't need me to overlook it anymore. So it just means I can focus on other PGS projects.
Yes. Okay. I mean, that's a lot of leagues, Spacer. When do you have time to sleep or eat? 6 leagues. Wow.
Yeah, the missus hates me. Or she despises it. She wishes she'd never get into it.
Mate, the fact that you said you had a missus in itself, that is a miracle. So the fact that she hates you, you should be happy with that because she's still there. That's
it. Doing
quality.
There's 2 kids, so she can't run away. So she's stuck, baby trapped.
Absolutely. We'll move on swiftly from that one because you start getting complaints, baby daddy. But listen, you are clearly one of the best admins out there because you get spoken about a lot. I want to say best. Listen, every admin does their job to the best of their ability, but of course we live in a democracy, so our community are obviously gonna they're gonna like one person more than the other for one reason or the other. Villa and Vincent are like bromance situation, so but I mean, with yourself, in terms of the managers that you've had come into your various leagues, and I know there's going to be situations where people are folding and obviously making the situation difficult for yourself and your team. How have you found the general health and wealth of the community?
Yeah, it's kind of it's a mixed bag of emotions. You have those teams that are well established and they know their stuff and they'll come in, they're fully set up. But there's teams that do need that extra bit of help. Especially with recruiting players, understanding some of the rules and stuff that go into each and every league. Because again, my Northern Irish league could be completely different to another league I run in terms of, deadlines for stats, stuff like that there.
Okay.
So yeah, it's kind of, teams will come in and you'll have teams that you've worked with before and you'll know the managers really well. And you'll have those new managers come in and, as you say, there's loads of admins out there and everyone has their own unique way of doing things. And That's why everyone has their favorite. I don't know how I'm people's favorites because I'm probably one of the harsh admins.
That's probably why you want me. You're straight to the point. No. You know what I mean? What you see is what you get, type of thing. You know. Go on. Sorry.
Yeah, but yeah, no, the 100%. That's the things that you kind of expect for it. One of the things I've learned as an admin is you can never prepare for what's going to come your way, but you can always prepare for the unknown, if that makes sense.
No, definitely.
You know, and you can structure it as much as you want. You can, have teams waiting in the waiting list. For example, 2 weeks ago I had, I think, a team fold and had 7 teams on the waiting list. Not one of them wanted to take a spot.
Really? So, oh my God.
Because they made other commitments since then.
Right.
So, do you know what I mean? And that comes with it. You're always having to kind of think on your feet and just take what comes at you.
Absolutely. I know that there was no point in me being in that group anyway, because I only came in there to just hassle you admins to get on the podcast. But I was in the Facebook chat, and I know that chat is active daily, like morning till never. It's just daily. And so I can appreciate, obviously, because I've seen it firsthand, I appreciate the work you guys do. You can speak to Vincent. Like I say to him all the time, I don't know how you guys do it, because I would not have the first nous of what to do when somebody, because I'm quite well balanced, structured. So if things aren't, if things aren't there, right, I'm like, why is it not like that? So for instance, lateness, I can't handle it. I cannot do it. I don't know why, but I just can't do it. So within the servers, like I said, I know you're quite harsh with regards to maybe stats. You're probably the first person I've spoken to that has a deadline on stats. I've heard it. I've heard other admins do. But what was the main reason why you put a deadline? I know it's an obvious answer or question, but what was the main reason why you actually added deadline stats?
Yeah, it was just because, again, like I said, I'm looking after 5-6 different leagues. And I have in my own head a schedule of when I'll approve stats, when I'll do the graphics, when I get the graphics out. And what I was finding was, if I didn't give people a deadline or a cutoff, and then I started approving stats and done team of the week, and they're like, "Oh, hold on, my stats wasn't on it," and then you're going back and you're having to look through, and yeah, by all means, they may have made it, but again, that's unfair then to remove the person that got there and done it in the first place. So, just adding that deadline, it just, again, it's all about structure. If it's easy for players to, it takes 30 seconds to take a picture, put your stats in, that's it, that's you done.
Yeah.
Probably takes me about 2 hours afterwards to do the rest of it. But
wow, okay. So, sorry, go on, Spacer.
Yeah, no, because again, you'll have, I wouldn't say bad admins, but you'll have admins that will trust certain teams and they'll quickly go through the stats, and there could be one or two wrong. We're all humans, mistakes are made, but yeah, it's one of those things where, I like to make sure it is 100%, perfect, because again, if you're taking the time to put the stats in, I can take the time to make sure they're correct and move fairly.
There you go.
Get
I think
so
that's it. The same respect works the other way as well. I mean, there are people that just don't do it, but if you're going to do it as soon as the game's done. I know we forged a habit of making sure that even in between games, because it's usually 2 or 3 minutes, we just put them in straight away. In fact, I know I do that now. I know last year I was one of those people that took liberties. I'd wait. It wasn't a case I did it on purpose. I'd fall asleep after games because maybe we've lost and I can't be bothered. It's not a priority. And then in the morning, I'm thinking, actually, I got an 8.0. Let me put it in. So it's not really good. And what I'll say to everyone listening is, it's not usually that we get. It's not the norm that we get admins accessible, to give us all this information. So if you're listening, please heed, because like you said, once you've done your stats, they then sat there for another 2-3 hours afterwards trying to do the same thing to make sure that your team of the weeks or tots, because we know that these people are going to be asking for their tots and team of the weeks. And speaking of that, actually, my last point on this admin stuff, because I know when Will came on, he was there's nothing different to what you guys have talked about. I know everyone's got their own ways, but you guys have been consistent. So the one of the things I wanted to talk about was, in terms of all these teams that are entering, I mean, what is the criteria for a team to enter any leagues? And also, what's the criteria for folding? Can you just literally come up and say, I'm folding, without a process of elimination? Is that something you're still working on at the moment?
Yeah, so in terms of obviously a team wanting to join a league, the one thing I'll ask is obviously are you ready, prepared? You know, we'll see if it's you and your mates, there's only 5 of you, you know, especially, you know, if you're playing kind of Friday, Saturday nights or even a Thursday night, realistically, you and your 5 mates going to turn up every week? You know, realistically, is one of them going to go out on a weekend for a drink or whatever? They're going to go to a party?
Yeah.
You know, is there going to be a christening, you know, a family event? So I'd always say that just make sure, you know, when you're joining a league that you have enough of a backup of players there. So whether it be, you know, a team of 15, you know, one for each position in case, you know, someone's sick or their internet's down or whatever it may be. Do you know what I mean? That would be the main thing I would say, because what we find is our team will join, they'll have a few bad results, players might start looking at other teams, and then as a manager you're left there with a spot in the league with, you know, very little players, and it's hard then to recruit players when you're in such a bad position in a league. So I think it's one of the guys, you know, said, I think it was Hippo said about it earlier, you know, it's one of those things, it's not, you know, you're not going to put a team together and go and win leagues. That doesn't happen. You know, you have to be at it constantly, and you have to work at it, and the hard work will pay off. You know, I'm a big player in the Glens, which a lot of people know, and that, you know, they didn't just start off and start winning leagues. You know, it takes time to gel, and it takes time to build that chemistry, and once it clicks, and you'll get there. But yeah, in terms of folding, I'm kind of a bit more relaxed, because as it says, sometimes it isn't the manager's fault. I don't like handing out bans, unless it's something serious or, you know, it's toxic, then it deserves it and it's justified. But in terms of folding teams, my kind of rule is, and it's an unwritten rule, is if you can find someone that's willing to take over the team, willing to come in and take over the spot, see it's me to work. You know, I don't have to go find someone or hand out defaults, then I'm not going to ban you. I'm not going to ban you from the league or ban you from managing or anything like that there. It's just, okay, you'll take a step back from managing. You can still play. You can still play within that team, whatever. But it's kind of my way of how I've always handled folding teams, where people don't want bans. You know, managers don't want full teams. Otherwise, you wouldn't join it.
Yeah, exactly. No, I totally understand that, and that was well put. So I was really engaged. So a little bit of delay. I was like, oh, is it finished? Okay, cool. So, but that's good. It's good to know, and I'm hoping that's all rested well with a lot of managers, because there are a lot of. I mean, you had a list of a waiting list of 7-8 teams, so all the leagues are popular. I know the Northern Ireland is quite a popular one, because obviously we've entered, and a few other teams have entered, and the Montos are going to enter as well. I mean, in terms of your team, then obviously we're coming to the end of this particular segment, but is there anyone you'd like to maybe shout out, or are you going to go down the Hippo route, or sorry, Villa route, and say that everybody's as unique as themselves?
Well, no, 100%. I'll not shout out individuals. What I will say is, there's obviously the late night league. It starts up here. What's today? Sunday. So it actually starts up tomorrow night. Obviously a lot of new teams have joined because one of our competitors had an issue. But, you know, for those guys that have stuck with this, you know, there's 2 divisions, you know, straight away for a league that's just starting up is unreal. So just best of luck to those guys. You know, I hope they stick at it, and hope they enjoy me and Vincent as their admins. Both of us, again, our DMs are always open. We may not reply straight away, but, you know, whenever we do get the chance, we do reply to all your messages. So, you know, speak to us if you need a hand, if you need help, reach out to us. But best of luck to those guys tomorrow night.
Legend. So I'm saying, I did tell you guys, this is you know, you're gonna be in the midst of legendsness, if that even makes a sense, any sense at all. But listen, Spacer, I want to thank you very much for the work you do. I know you're not gonna shout out anybody, but I will. I'm gonna shout you out. I'm gonna shout Vincent out. I'm gonna shout Andreas out. Those are the names that I know, but I'm sure there are other people in the backgrounds, in the shadows, working just as hard to make this whole community function and work. So I want to thank you. And also, I know that you mentioned about teams fold and everything else, and the reason why I say that, and you mentioned about your DMs being open, this isn't the norm. You know, let's not try and normalize it, because these guys do have work that they do, but it's not the norm. But in extreme circumstances, they're always available. So personally, thank you, sir, and I look forward to the continued great work that we do together.
Yeah, no, best luck. I think one person who did leave out was Colsey, and Colsey always gets forgot about, so I'll fire him out there. I know he's
Colsey
probably
always gets a shout out, mate, from me, so don't worry about that. Cheers, though. Thank you.
all the best, guys.
Nice one. Take care, Spacer. Right, so just to sort of recap on that one, the late night league starts tomorrow. So for all the managers who've entered, all the teams have entered, good luck. You know, I've entered as well. We'll be playing for the Invisibles, in case you wanted to know, and that's run by Vincent. So, but listen, Spacer, once again, I can't thank you enough. You know, probably one of the most experienced admins out there, and you know, take his words on board, please. If you need any help, if you're sort of a budding manager, please let us know. Right. So before we end the show, I did say that we'll try and get Brandlad back in just to finish off. It's only right. So is it possible to get him back in? Are we sorted with Brandlad now? Perfect. He's in. Hello, mate.
Honestly.
What happened?
You know, you get the too hot on your phone or whatever.
Yes, I think I saw a picture of that. Yeah.
It's not even hot. Honestly, that makes sense. But yeah, it is what it is.
It's always what it is. But listen, that formation you were talking about, I was actually pretty surprised that you mentioned it will be the best one, because I find that you need some really good sort of defensive players to really make sure it works. I mean, what's your sort of conclusion on that?
So we're going about the 3-1-4-2 or
the 3-1-4-2? That's correct. Yeah. I'm quite intrigued with that role.
Obviously your PlayStation, is that correct?
I'm PlayStation. Yes.
Yeah. So on the Xbox side of things, from what I've seen, anyways, most teams do now use the 3-1-4-2 as well. It just seems so popular. I'm not sure what it's like on PlayStation, but yeah, all teams do use it now, to be fair.
That's interesting. So, I mean, are you saying that that's a formation that will get goals as well as cover us at the back defensively?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the best formation for just keeping the ball and playing it quick and short kind of thing. Obviously, some teams now do the tall striker, play 4-2-3-1, who fit, win off seconds and stuff like that, but I just don't find it enjoyable myself.
Yeah, no, neither do I. I think someone mentioned that in the chat. That's just wing bashing element, really. And
yeah, I mean, I hope next FIFA they get rid of that striker, because it's honestly, it's awful. It's so bad. And you're a striker as well, aren't you? You do play.
I'll play striker. Yeah, but I always use either 5-6 build or 5-4 build.
That's what I mean. Yeah, you can't
get used to the tall build. It's not.
It's boring.
Just the way I play. Yeah, it's just
no skill to it. It's just like
I've literally broken a couple of pads just trying to use
the tool,
because it's mad.
So stiff, you can't turn on nothing.
It's very stiff. But yeah, so I think I'm hoping they do. But most importantly, I'm hoping that they spend a bit more time into Pro Class, because
I think there's been a big thing about that. Yeah, big time.
Yeah. Well, fingers crossed. But I'd like us to discuss it a bit more on the FUT show. It's obviously next week. But I think for me, the formations is a big thing, because a lot of teams use now 3-5-2 is the most popular one.
Yeah, definitely.
But personally, I don't like the 3-5-2, and I don't know why.
Yeah,
it's just for goals. It's not really for me. I just
which is your favorite then? Which one do you prefer?
Personally, do you know what? This might be controversial, but I prefer the 4-3-3.
4-3-3. What, the basic standard 4-3-3?
No, with the one CDM. You've got the two CDMs.
Yeah.
Sorry, the two CDMs and the one cam. Yeah. The one CM. That formation, I think if you've got the right players, it's a formidable formation, in my opinion.
I think that's always about the same thing, though, isn't it? You need the right players to suit the formation. I think that's the same with most formations, really.
Exactly. But you made some key points. Quick passing and the right players.
Yeah, that's always key.
You know, not every club has that. So
I mean, if obviously you can't just always be the best, and if you're not, I think there's always a way of just building it up. Like if you're playing consistently in one formation, if you stick to one, you're going to end up getting used to it, and you're going to be all right in it. I don't think it matters too much in that perspective.
Do you know what? And that's what we're going to leave it on, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's sweet. That's fine.
You've coined it absolutely right. It's about sticking with the one formation and not changing it willy-nilly. But listen, Brandlad, we've got more work to do next Sunday. I'm looking forward to our FUT show. Yeah, sorry to be rushed, but thank you so much for coming back on. Good. Sort the phone out, sir. Come on.
Yeah, I'm going to make sure I get a fan on that or something. Jesus.
No worries. Take it easy. Have a good evening.
See you later.
Right, so listen, we're coming to the end of the show. I know everybody's got league games, so I'm not going to keep you guys for much longer, but I'd like to thank all my guests. But before I thank my guests, I want to shout out Cozy again, because we do shout Cozy out every week. So Cozy, great work in the background, sir. Hippo, thank you. Villa, thank you. Spacer, thank you very much. And for all the people in the chats, we thank you for the support. Thank you for joining us every single week. Please join us again next week for the FUT show. Have a great evening and enjoy your games. Take care. Thank you.